y'all? It's DG back with another video. Today I have a very special performance review on these bad boys right here, the Nike LeBron Next Gens and the I Promise colorway specifically. So let's get right into it. Starting with the traction. So the traction is a 9 out of 10 for me. The only reason why I'm not giving it a 10, and disclaimer, overall this traction is amazing. You're not really going to have any problems. It grips to the floor. The traction pattern resembles and copies the map of Akron, Ohio, where obviously LeBron is from. So that's the inspiration behind the traction pattern. But the only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 is because there's a little bit of like a cluster of lines right at the forefoot right here. And I felt like I had to wipe the most in that area. It makes sense because obviously the forefoot, especially that area where the ball of your foot is supposed to be where you're supposed to run. You're supposed to jab, you're supposed to make moves at that area. So I felt like I had to wipe the most there. But what I'm saying is that it has more concentrated, more close together lines in that area. So I did feel like I had to wipe every now and then in that area, but overall, this traction is legit. I love this traction. I'm not ever going to not play in the shoe because of the traction. I played on 2 different courts, and one of them is a pretty clean court. And the other one is a really bad court from like the 70s, like no lie. So this traction held up everywhere, has a loud squeak if you like that. The grip was really good, but just be aware, like in that area, you may have to wipe. The consensus is that I'm not going to not play in the shoe because of the traction, right? So like the traction is good. Let's move on to the cushion setup to this shoe. In comparison to the LeBron 20s, just as a disclaimer, I'm going to make a full-on separate video comparing these to the LeBron 20s, so stay tuned. But in terms of the cushion, it resembles the LeBron 20 because it has 2 zoom units, one in the heel, one in the forefoot. And I would say that I would also give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 10 because I feel like I just like the LeBron 20s better. And they also have Cushlon. These feel a bit lower to the ground. I would say like 5 to 10% lower to the ground in comparison to the 20s. So I really like that aspect because, you know, you're able to feel like you're going to make moves faster. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone just wants a lower to the ground feel nowadays. Like people want a balance of both impact protection and responsiveness. And I feel like this shoe does it very well. And it actually reminds me of the KD15s and how I felt about that shoe, where I really love the KD15s because it has a very good balance of court feel and cushion. And I say that because this reminds me of that feeling where it has impact protection. It got responsiveness. It got some plush in there. It has some bounce a little bit. This shoe, cushion, 9 out of 10. Moving on to the fit of the shoe. This shoe fits true to size. This shoe does have a wider, bulkier look in comparison to the LeBron 20. The LeBron 20 is much more slimmed down in terms of looks. However, that doesn't really relate. I only mention that because people may think these look big and they fit big, but these fit true to size. Moving on to the support and the lockdown of the shoe, that is the #1 aspect to the shoe, in my personal opinion. With the true to size fit and the elite lockdown of this shoe, you're going to feel like you're on a rocket ship that like whenever you take off, like this shoe is coming with you. Is really, really good in terms of lockdown. And the laces are like really long in this shoe. It's really just like accommodating. It feels comfortable. It feels like an extension of your foot. So the lockdown is much better in these. In terms of the support, these fit and look and are actually higher than the LeBron 20. So you guys see the LeBron 20 and you guys see the Next Gens. So the ankle portion sits a little bit higher. So low-key, these feel like a mid-top, high-top type of shoe, especially with the elite lockdown. It sits higher. It fits true to size. These feel like a mid-top shoe, honestly, but they play like a low-top shoe. You got elite lockdown. I think bigs will really like these forwards as well, and especially guards, right? Like I'm not 6'5" or anything like that, and I like these. So these are going to be really, really good in terms of the cushion is great, full coverage pretty much. You've got the traction is very, very solid. I'm never going to not play in the shoe because I think the traction is bad. And the lockdown and the fit is just really, really spot on. In terms of the weight of this shoe, the weight is very, very good. I'm having the LeBron 20 in hand right now. I'm gonna do a separate video, but just like as a sneak peek, I'm having the LeBron 20 on my left and the next gens on my right, and they feel the same. I don't have a wear or anything like that, but in terms of how I play and what I play in, and I've been open showing myself playing, like I actually bring my camera to the gym and just show you guys, because the best way, in my opinion, to give a performance review is to actually play in the shoe and show you guys how I play, so you better understand my POV and perspective in terms of my play style and how that relates to the shoe. The lightweightness of the shoe, it feels like a mid-top. You got the elite lockdown, you got great cushion, great traction, and these also feel lightweight, guys. Compared to the LeBron 20s, they're pretty much the same, and these might feel a little bit heavier. I don't know the numbers. I'm not gonna bring my calculator or weigher or whatever, but in terms of how they play, these are very light. They're not gonna be as light as a Kobe, but if you're worried about, oh, the LeBrons look bulky and these look bulky, it's literally a mesh upper and you got traditional laces, you got a rubber outsole. On to the looks and aesthetics. So these, in my opinion, do not look as good as the LeBron 20. Like I alluded to, the LeBron 20 is much more slimmed down. And obviously, I do think the LeBron 20 is better, especially because of the fly knit and everything of that nature. The colorways and the price point and the performance, so all of these other factors make this shoe look really good by itself, not even comparing these to LeBron 20. And if you want to be really real, these basically look like the LeBron 20, right? They're basically the takedown model, so you're not really missing out on much besides the materials. So you're not really missing out on much if you don't get the 20s and you just get these, because these are 160. This I Promise colorway, when was the last time we got a good mismatch, you guys? I want someone to leave a comment down below. When was the last time? The last time in my head, because there's too many shoes in my head, there's just too much going in my brain right now. But my favorite mismatch shoe was the What The Hybrid S2s, like the pineapple ones, which was basically a What The colorway. That was like the best mismatch shoe. I guess the PG6 What Thas were good, but they had the silver toe cap. But these are a true mismatch. I suppose we got the LeBron 7 retro Lakers. That was a mismatch. But these, you gotta appreciate it. When was the last time we got like a teal blue with a light orange? Now, I know all my guys, all my fellow adult hoopers like myself are looking at this shoe and it's like, DG, these look like a kid's shoe. Well, yeah, bro, because these are for the I Promise school, and schools mean kids. So they made these for the kids, but they made these obviously as a general release in men's sizing. But the colorway is for the kids, so I can't blame that. I still want to be a kid at the end of the day. So I feel young in these, and I love how these shoes look aesthetically, and the performance is great. I would say that I saw a Lakers mismatch colorway of the next gens. LeBron wore those in game. I need those. I'm not even a Laker fan, but I need those. Overall, the LeBron next gens are legit. These are a cop any day of the week. Guys, I need to be extremely clear when I say that at this moment, if I were to go to a gym right now and I wanted to lace up and play basketball, it would be between 3 shoes. The Kobe 6, the LeBron 20s, and the next gens. The next gens, I just feel like I can't go wrong in this shoe because the lockdown is just really good, but it plays pretty much the same as the 20s, guys. The reason why I like the 20s more is because the materials are better, they look better, the traction and the cushion is better. But at the end of the day, the 20s are a very low shoe, and the next gens provide a little bit of a higher ankle support system. You can really lock yourself in. I would recommend these to anyone. Same as the LeBron 20s. I would recommend the 20s to anyone. But the next gens are $40 cheaper. They come in great colorways. The cushion is not as plush, but they're still responsive. It's still adequate. The traction is great. The only thing I would say is kind of watch out for this area. But I wipe all my basketball shoes wiping the area is not that big of a deal. Only downside is, I guess, the materials, because it's not a fly knit and it doesn't look as good. And overall, these look much more bulky than the 20s. But they feel lightweight. I can play how I want to play. And the lockdown just psychologically just feels amazing. Without comparing it to any other shoe, just the lockdown itself, if this was the first basketball shoe that I ever played in my life, I would honestly say that like the lockdown was my favorite part. The fit, the lockdown, the overall seamlessness of how these feel on my feet. Like psychologically, that helps, right? Like that helps. Whether or not this has better lockdown than the LeBron 20 or whatever. Whether or not you disagree, psychologically, the lockdown really does help. This shoe is a must cop. I think if you have the LeBron 20s, I suppose you really don't need these. But if you are someone who doesn't want to spend $200 on a basketball shoe, because I feel you, trust me, I feel you. $200 is a lot of money. That's 200 Happy Meals at McDonald's, right? Like that's a lot of food, groceries, whatever. If you don't want to spend $200, then save yourself 40 bucks and get these and be happy with it, because I guarantee you, if I had to bet my money and go to Vegas, you will be really happy with the next gens. So overall, y'all, let me know what you guys think of these right here, the LeBron Next Gen I Promise. If you guys have played in these, let me know what you guys think. I've been receiving great feedback from y'all so far in my comment section here on YouTube, Instagram, even TikTok. A lot of people are liking these shoes, especially for the price point, especially because they look like the 20s anyway. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already for more hoop shoe content and reviews. Next up, I'll be doing an in-depth comparison video between these two. Follow me on all my socials at DGHoops, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.